Even if I've seen like a trend right now on social media, don't tell anybody until it's ready. But I think
Mhm.
you and I are completely opposite. We like to speak our goals and our plans into existence, into the universe. I think you and I, would you say that talking about it is great practice?
Yeah. I think for me, it all comes down to alignment. Welcome, everybody. Today, I have a very special guest with me, my dear friend, Betty Galvan. Betty, welcome to the podcast. And
Thank you so
please
much.
introduce yourself to my audience.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Betty Galvan. I am the founder and CEO of my friend Betty Says Digital Marketing, MFBS Digital Marketing. And I am the new owner of The Coco, a co working space here in Summit and Florham Park, New Jersey.
I love it. And Betty and I go way back. We've known each other for many, many years. And I'm really excited to have you here today and talk all about the mindset. So, when you hear the warrior mindset, what comes to mind for you?
Oh my gosh. Well, I think of you 100%. Anytime I hear the word warrior, we've known each other for about 13 years and have seen both our journeys just evolve, right? So it's been amazing to follow you and all the work that you've done, Chitra. You're really inspiring. So I do think of warrior mindset. You are the one who put that in my brain. So when I think it's just overcoming challenges, having that mindset of what would a warrior do, right? I think of positivity. When I hear warrior mindset, I think of abundance. I think about strength. Those are the words that come to mind.
Mm, that's so beautiful. I did not pay her to say that, guys. But that was beautiful. Yes, all of the above, right? And I've seen you embody that in your own way. So you've described your core mindset as that of a builder. What do you think was, that journey like for you to becoming a builder? And we don't mean property building here. We're going to
Yeah,
clarify. We mean community building. So tell
right.
me where that started for you, what that was like. Were you always somebody who built communities, or was there a shift that happened to take you there?
Yes, definitely. When I started this second phase of my career about 13 years ago, it was to take something that was evolving in social media. I was a blogger, solo, blogging from wherever I was living. I stopped teaching because I did start my family and with my husband, and we were living abroad. But then I was writing by myself. I was, doing the blog thing. I became an influencer right at the height of it. So I was getting paid for when I only had like 50 followers. It was great to be at the inception of all of that and what it has become now. But then when we moved to New Jersey and I started meeting women like you, Chitra, and other women that we were networking with, I realized that there was some space to help build the women that I was meeting to help build their businesses, and that was through social media. So building communities online, building long lists of emails for email marketing. That was my first step into realizing, hey, I can help other women grow their business, build their business, and also build lists and just their outreach, their reach.
Mm. Yeah, and that's kind of when we met, is when you were,
Mhm.
even before, when you were doing your blogging, right? And you were doing blogging before blogging was even a thing almost.
Right at the beginning, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's beautiful. So, tell us a little bit about, when you were even like, I'm thinking about when you started blogging, right? That was not something that was happening, you know, um, as much as now we hear about it. So, how did you have the courage to take step into something that was a little unknown and just
Yeah.
building your way? Was that intentional? Was that organically just happening? Talk
I
to
I
me about
I
that.
It's funny because if my friend Lila were to hear me and she wanted me to be on MySpace and Facebook right when they were starting off, I said, "Absolutely not." Uh, but then we moved to Japan. My husband and I moved to Japan, um, 2007,
Mm,
and, my f it was a form of staying in touch and blogging and sending it back to my former colleagues and my friends and family of just what we were doing and how we were doing, and the blog became sort of this educational/parenting blog, raising a Spanish speaker in Asia. So, it was early days of blogging. It was the right time, the right moment. There was a need from my family and friends, and watching just, the social media platforms start to explode, I thought, well, isn't this interesting, that I could uh, reach even more people, have them look at my blog because these platforms like Facebook were just the thing to be doing.
Yeah.
It was all coincidence, really.
It is, right? And I think that I see that in so many people's lives, right? Organically, you're there's like a common thread that runs through it. So if you had to pinpoint a common thread that runs through all of the different work that you've done, I can see education as being one of them. What else would you say
I
comes up?
think, opportunity, being at the right place at the right time, right? Building a community, continuing to build a community which already existed. The Cocoa co-working was a client of my friend Betty's, when I was called in for messaging that the founders were ready to retire. And I don't blame them. COVID was really tough for them. And they did all they could, and I think it was just, exhausted all of the different ideas to keep this community going, and so, it was an opportunity for me. I was called in for something else, and I left there thinking, "We can't let this we can't let this stop. We can't let this close. We have to continue." So, it was an opportunity. Not pivoted because I
Timing.
still have my social media business, but, seeing what that thread that you're talking about, does this make sense for my friend Betty's business or just for Betty, right? Does this make sense? And I knew that it did. It's a special, place, and it's a place where we build community in person. So now I'm saying that I love to connect people, build communities online and in person with both businesses.
Yeah, I love that. So for those that are listening, my friend Betty says is your social media agency, and then the Coco is a co-working space that you have
That's
acquired. And now you are opening a second location,
right.
right? Yeah. So that's
Yes,
wonderful.
we just launched our second location in, Florham Park, New Jersey. So we've been successful in Summit. We've run out of room, so we knew that we needed to take this opportunity um, to just spread the word and just to continue to have people have their third space. So what sets us apart from other co-working spaces is that community component. People join the Coco for networking. Call it like a social club, right? It's a place where people can come to meet other like-minded individuals and learn through our programming. So I think a little bit of the I inherited this um, model, but that teacher in me just loves, the programming that really helps people grow both professionally and personally. So we needed more space, and we said, let's take the chance. And here we are again with another opportunity.
I love it. It sounds like you're doing a lot, right? I mean, you have your social media agency, you have your co-working space. How do you manage it all? And when you, you know,
I have 3 boys and 2 dogs.
yeah, let's not forget about the family, right? And all the other things that come with that, because that's a whole another dynamic. So, what do you think is the secret to making it all work apart from, having that community support? What else? How do you
Yeah.
run it all?
I have that mindset too that I have to stay organized, that, there is more time than you think, that, we often now that I'm doing more, I'm like, "What was I doing before?"
Yeah.
Because then I thought, I didn't have any time. Or like when you have 1 child and you're so busy and then you have 2 more, you're like, "What was I doing? Like, how can I manage this?" It just becomes a discipline, right, of staying organized, having your calendar, as tight as possible. I non-negotiables, like, I wanna be the one driving my children to school, and if I can pick them up, that's a huge, win for me. I wanna be in the car with my kids. So, if it means having my mom help me with dinners or eating out more, whatever, to save time, then I'm good with that because I just think that, your time is so valuable. So, having that mindset of, like, a positive mindset, "Yes, we can do it," but you have to stay disciplined. There are things and habits that you need to create to help you with that positive mindset.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
But I
thinking
do have
about
I sorry, I do have dates of doubt, and I think this is when I text you, Chitra, and I say, "Okay, what is happening?" And you
yeah.
have seen that vulnerable side of me where I doubt myself and I think, "Was this a mistake?" Or, "If I built it, but what if they don't come?" And you've been such a rock, that I've just been I feel so comfortable just texting you and saying to you, "I saw a sign. I think this is a sign." Just the words that you have put in my mind to remember when I have those doubts.
Yeah. Yeah, I really, resonated with what you said, especially, the part about how we get busier and then we look back. I remember when I was 18 and, working full time and before I got married, no kids, no husband, no nothing. And I was like, I have no time. I have no time. And then I got married and I moved a whole different country. And it's like, oh, I have no time. I have to take care of my house. I have to, take care of my husband. Then there were kids. Then there was business after business after business. And I'm like, it's crazy. Like, I look at my kids now and they're like, "I have no time." I'm like, "Trust me, you have so much time. You're gonna look
Yes,
back someday and realize how much time you have."
yes.
So, it seems like discipline, system, structure is something that really helps you manage all of it together. Um,
And
you know
and and the teams that you create around you, right? The support
Yeah,
at home, the support of my teams at both businesses, really, it's impossible to grow or handle more without others. It just really isn't,
yeah,
and people ask me for this piece of advice, like, "How do you do it all?" And I really ask women, especially women, to give themselves that opportunity to bring more people onto their team and not to be afraid, right? Because then we get stuck in that scarcity mindset of, "I can't afford, yeah,
yeah.
another."
Or what if they don't do it as well as I do,
Yes, that's a
right?
big one. That's a big
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
And,
delegation is hard.
yeah, delegating is hard, but
Yeah,
it's the only way to grow,
yeah.
in my opinion, honestly.
Yeah, it's so true. It takes a village. It takes a village, and you might as well build that village from the get go rather than have, you know, maybe burnout or stress like through the roof, just trying to figure it all out on your own. You know,
And
yeah, it's
being really conscious too of, and I'm not kidding, Chitra, it just really have helped me so much in ways that you don't even know just by listening to you and hearing what you tell others when we are in communities and we gather. But, when you start thinking like, "Am I burned out? Is this too much? Have I hit a wall?" I've been able to turn that really quickly by just thinking, little things like, "I just need a glass of water," or, "I need to drink more water." I make sure that I had lunch. Those things because I keep going, right? I have to turn my mindset. You should plan time off, absolutely, but I almost have to schedule that to really give myself that
yeah,
that time. So when you're reaching that moment, when you start asking yourself, like, "Am I burnt out now? Am I hitting a wall? Why did I behave this way?" Then you better start planning for
yeah.
you to take some time off because, then it can just get out of control.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about this, right? I mean, you have the same amount of time as any other person. We just talked about how we look at time differently at different stages of our life. What would you say to somebody who says, I don't have time, but I have this dream. I want to make this happen. And it just feels huge and overwhelming, right? Where does someone like that start? And what are some steps that they can take to build success?
Well, first of all, is like definitely identifying when is the best time that you can work. Because if someone says, the only time I have is at nighttime after the kids are gone to sleep, do you feel energized to do the work then? Right? Because if you think that's your only time, but you are like exhausted, especially as a young parent, right? Like, then that is probably not the time. So, can you get yourself up 30 minutes before? We have a mutual friend, Malika, who I always think about, non-negotiable for her is reading
Mm,
or 5:30 in the morning, working out, like, that is a non-negotiable. She has set herself up to wake up earlier to do that because that's the best time for her. So I think saying, "Can I get those 30 minutes before the kids are up?" And how productive can I be to just I know writers, right, that block the time to do it. So finding the right time that you know you will be productive.
mm,
I'm finding that because I don't schedule meetings between 3 and 5 because that's when I'm doing the runaround for the kids, that if I am happen to be home, that I am super productive because now no one is pinging me, no one's looking for me. People think I'm with my kids. So between those hours, I have found that I can be really productive. So really identifying and saying, I need to block the best time of my day to handle a couple of tasks to get myself going is a fantastic start.
yeah. Yeah, I always say if it's not in the calendar, it's not happening, right?
It's everything,
So
yeah.
put the things in the calendar that matter to you, even like blocking times out for yourself sometimes. I think that's a wonderful tip and it's so useful. Let's also talk about, I feel called to talk about this. Like delegation is so hard, right, for people. And you mentioned how you've built teams and you've had other people helping you in your businesses. What gives you or what's the mindset behind being able to trusting someone else to doing a job that you know you might do better or you have a different vision for it and trusting them to execute that?
Think sometimes the right people show up for you, sort of like, the way our editor for social media came to us. Um, she was noticing, simple grammatical mistakes or misspellings in captions early on when we were and I was mortified, right? I just she was we're helping attorneys and service providers and doctors and all very professional people. We can't have those mistakes. So I she was catching them. So I asked her, "Do you need a job? Would you like to come work for us?" She already identified a skill that I knew was very important for us. We're going to grow. We're going to need an editor. So starting with that, identifying that important task and knowing, okay, then I can definitely trust someone who is very good at grammar, right? For example, she is now our
Yeah.
full-time editor, but also our director of operations. That attention to detail, now she makes sure that she knows that every person on our team is doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing every day. So that's one. Another person came to me as someone else's personal assistant, and I asked my really dear friend and also Coco member, Clara, I said, "Can do you mind if I also hire her?" I went to her first, but I saw this woman working, her name is Chelsea, working for Clara, and I said, "Do you mind if I is it okay if I
Yeah.
stay with her?" So, just seeing how efficient and how wonderful she was with my friend and her business. Is there room? Does she have time? Would she like to come work for me? So, sometimes it's not even posting that you need, it's just like
Yeah.
keeping your eyes
You're
open.
attracting, girl. You're
Oh,
attracting.
well,
You're just
I knew you
putting
were
it
gonna love
out.
that. I knew you were gonna like that.
Yes, you're putting it
I
out in
think
the
it works.
universe and
Yeah,
the universe is
but
delivering
being
these people.
open, right? Seeing
Yeah.
the signs,
I
not
was
being
gonna say, yeah, that's a big part of what you're saying. It seems to me, right? That you are open to help, first of all. So you're not the idea of hiring someone or delegating something is not like, oh my God, I could never do that, right? You're open about that. You're like, if I need it, it'll show up. Or, I don't even know if it was intentional for you at the time,
yeah.
but, when this person pointed out the grammatical errors in your post, it was like immediately your first thought wasn't like, "Oh my god, I gotta fix this."
I
It's
wasn't
like
offended. Yeah, I
you weren't
wasn't offended.
offended, you didn't
Yeah.
take it personally, and you decided to, in fact, welcome her, which to use a skill that is obviously, she's really good at. So,
And
um,
get this, she's a former prosecutor, Laura,
wow.
uh, who wanted to be at home with her daughter, and so was looking for something else to do, right?
Yeah.
So
Look
she's
at
now
that
committed to it.
energetic alignment, right? How beautiful is that? And I think this is, uh, this podcast is about you, but I'm just gonna say, like, the energy of, you know, like, I feel like every time we are trying to do something in this world, it's already being connected in the energetic world, right?
Mhm.
So you are putting out this thing maybe, or you're feeling this frustration that I don't have time to check my post properly or whatever. She's sitting there saying, I wish I could find something that would work out for me where I can be home with my kids. And the universe is like, all right, here are two energies that can connect and build something amazing, right? And you're both open and awake and alert to listening to those cues,
Yeah.
right? And boom, that's when the magic happens. And, those are the connections that I feel last a long time
Mhm.
because they happen organically and
Yeah.
they happen at a mutual energetic point. I feel the same way with my Align membership, where I have 7 facilitators, and it was very organic the way I met them, the way I brought them on. And it was just like boom, boom, boom. Can you do it? Yes. Can you do it? Yes. Can you do it? Yes. And
Ah, yeah.
it's just been magical, right? And there is that whole energetic piece that happens behind the scenes. Like, I know that we've all come together for a reason. I feel it. I can't prove it in a scientific lab, but I feel it. And I think that's enough for me. But yeah, let's also talk about, something like even this expansion of the cocoa. What do you think that you did has worked well for you in expanding the space? Because I feel like co-working spaces are just booming right now. There's so much loneliness. People are, afraid to, or just looking for someone to connect with during the day because we're all working remotely, virtually, and there's this isolation that's starting to happen. So you're definitely filling a need. But it's also a constant hustle to fill up these rooms, I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about the mindset behind that.
So, I think I have to say I also inherited this uh model as part of the business. Um, Kathy Cowan, who has been with the Cocoa for all the years, 6 years, she thankfully didn't leave when I came on, and she's still with us. She's taught me so many things, really really important to, um, you know, connect each member. So if Melanie's here and Kate's here, is make that introduction, right? Find we also don't wanna disrupt, and people are working and they have phone calls and you're just kinda watching, but you wanna make sure that, people don't leave here without being, introduced. So making that connection, I think that's missing in a lot of places. So we're a small team of 5. We know all of our 130 members, right? When we meet someone who comes into tour for the first time and we start asking questions, we're listening, right? We really want to know, like, what's bringing them here, and then as soon as they say something where we know we can connect them with someone, that's where the magic happens. So that doesn't stop whether if you're new and doing your onboarding, or if you've been with us for 5 years as a Coco member. And some of our veteran OGs will tell you, I'm still getting connections from the Coco, or still. It is our goal to continue to try to bring people in the door so that you, Chitra, will always have more people to connect with. It's a lot of work. We have a fantastic marketing team. It is my friend Betty who's does the management of our marketing. So Telma on our team, she's fantastic. She treats every client, including the Coco, as if it was the only client she has. Right. So both teams working together. Fantastic. So our marketing is really helping us. We're doing fantastic work, but it's really more about, okay, so you have them in the door. We're taking this third space, your co-working approach, as sort of like what you expect at a restaurant or a hotel. Like, I'm not charging for coffee. We're not charging for the snacks, like complimentary this and that, and flexibility and accommodation. I think that's what people really look for, even in a place where you're just supposed to go there for work. It's not
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. And for someone who's considering checking out a space like that, who do you think is the ideal person that would benefit from the cocoa, or
Yeah.
what can they look forward to?
Yeah. So one misconception, we used to be women only.
Hmm.
We are women forward now. So most of our members are women, and those who are not are huge allies and supporters of women. We have some magnificent men who come and love the bright colors, love the plants and the flowers, and just the brightness of the homey feel of the cocoa. And they love to meet people just as much as we do, right? As women do. So that misconception of we're only women. That's not true. So we want to help people who are working for a big Fortune 500 company and are working from home to come and join us and be a coworker. We're looking for creatives, podcasters, photographers, artists, right, to also come in and everything in between. So we are really proud that we have that type of community. We know who our competitors are. I know who the big, companies that are we're competing with, the big bros and all of that. We're different, and we really want to show this to everyone.
I love it. Yeah. And you have different types of events and meetings that you also conduct where people get to learn and grow from those themed sort of events. Do you want to talk about that a little
Yeah.
bit?
We have 8 special interest groups, that we have created, and that, you asked me about, like, and going back to us listening to our people, some special interest groups have just evolved in the last 6 months, like the finance group, for example, and that's because we started seeing new members come in with a finance background or, they're still working in finance. So we said, "Why don't we have a finance group?" Now we have more people in that industry. So we created that 6 months ago. Another new one is the virtual power hour, which is all that you and I co-lead together, and all because we felt like, okay, everything's in person. We do need one thing via Zoom. And I think selfishly too, for more business development, I said I need sort of like a nice mastermind type of group to just bounce off ideas with people who are not my team, right? My own teams. So that's been very successful. Virtual Power Hour. We meet 1 hour twice a month, in and out. It's really, really productive, really effective. So we're listening. What do people need? And we're hoping to launch something for coaches very soon. That's coming up, and very excited for all to share that news soon in January of 2026. So we're adding a ninth special interest group.
I love it. I think what I've loved most in hearing you talk about this journey is how organically it has just kind of come together, of course, with some strategic planning, with some discipline, with some systems and structure. But you've also allowed space for organic growth to happen,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. So, for someone who's listening and feeling isolated, or not sure where to begin, even with their journey of finding community, finding their path or their purpose, what is one um, mindset shift that you would give them to help break free and build their own legacy?
Yeah, I think that you have to put yourself out there is number one. So if you say, I know that I could be more productive if I join the Coco and do the co-working plan, 8 days a month. I'm going to do every Tuesday and Thursday and set the time aside to come in either Summit or Florham Park and really be productive. That's one thing, right? That's one service that we have. If you say, I just need to network more, I need to get out and meet people and start talking about my idea of my business, or maybe my business is going very well, but I'm ready for the next phase, right? Join our as a community member and come to all of our events. I think for people who would like to try for the very first time, if I may just plug in a little bit, we
Sure.
have guests for our first Friday of every month in Summit, we have our community coffee. That's a great networking opportunity. And that's where we say, if you bring a guest, right, that's where we want you to feel and see the community in action while still networking. Or buy a day pass, right? Come for just the day and see if you like the vibe here and you want to work with us. And again, either Summit or Florham Park.
Yeah,
But you
I
got to get
love
out
it.
there. You
You got to get out
have
there.
to dedicate and become disciplined about, like, I have to put myself out there.
Yeah, yeah. Because there's a lot of power in getting out there and talking even about your ideas, and
Yeah.
somebody will show up, like we talked about earlier, and be the person that can help you move that idea forward, move that into that next step. I love it.
And I don't know what you believe in, but I've seen, like, a trend right now on social media, don't tell anybody until it's ready, but I think
Mhm.
you and I are completely opposite. We like to speak our goals and our plans into existence, into the universe. I think you and I, would you say that talking about it is great practice?
Yeah, I think it all comes down to alignment, and if you're aligned in your thoughts, your words, and your actions, you are just drawing in so much more and with so much more ease. But when you're thinking, "Oh, I can't talk about this, and I have to say something even though I don't wanna give away the whole idea," then I feel like I'm in an internal conflict. And
Yeah.
that internal conflict is not helping me be my most authentic,
Yeah.
been aligned self. And if I'm not aligned, then I'm stopping the attraction happening, right?
Mhm.
The manifesting from
Yeah.
happening.
Mhm.
And so for me, it's yeah, I'm an open book. So,
Yeah.
yeah, but that's why I love talking to you about all the stuff that I'm dealing with. And I think you always learn from each other and you grow,
Mhm.
and I think it's important though to have the right people around you, right?
It's true too. You have to feel vibe and feel like, if is this a safe space for me? This is
Exactly.
what I need
Yeah.
to speak, because
Yeah.
that's true. You could
That's
be
it.
in a room where it might not feel good.
Exactly. And there are rooms where I will not talk about what's
Yeah.
coming up or what's going on, just because either I don't know the people that well or, I don't feel that it's
Yeah.
a safe enough space. So,
Right.
yeah, you gotta check the room that you're in. Social media, definitely, I would stay away from for a while,
Oh,
but
interesting.
until while you're building some of
Ah,
that
yeah.
concept, right? And then once you have it, then we'll go talk
Go
about
for it.
it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. Oh, this has been such a wonderful conversation, Betty. I'm so glad that you were able to take time out for this with all the stuff that you have going on, and I wish you all the best.
I
And
am honored. Thank you so much
yeah,
for making the time for me.
oh, thank you. Thank you for sharing all your wisdom. I'm sure there'll be some great takeaways that people will find in this. And tell us where people can find you.
Great. Thank you so much. So on Instagram, at MFBS Digital Marketing. That's short for My Friend Betty Says. MFBS Digital Marketing is our handle. And the Coco is the Coco NJ. Please follow us on Instagram. And if you would like to connect via LinkedIn, I'm Betty Galvan on LinkedIn.
Beautiful. And we'll put all of that in the show notes so people will have access to it. Thank you again.